would you supplicate your partner, adjure your partner, beseech your partner to stay? I'd like to see your comments in the comment section. Please come talk to me. Let's sort this thing out together. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video review or reaction by Princess Beyond Passions. Today I have just one video and we're going to talk about it. For those unique viewers, you have not subscribed, I'd implore you, you would know why I use this word by the time we get into the videos. So smash that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to all so you'll be notified whenever I have a new upload. Thank you all for being here. All right, let's get into today's video. Let's go.
Things you should never find yourself begging for. Never beg someone to love you. Never beg someone to stay.
Let me freeze it there. Never beg someone to love you. First of all, I would like to ask, I know that we already know the meaning, right? But I would just like to ask, what is the meaning of begging? These are the common synonyms of to beg, to adjure, to beseech, to entreat, to implore, to importune, and to supplicate. These are the synonyms of to beg someone to do something. The meaning of to beg is to ask someone to do something in an urgent way. For instance, to ask for money or to beg for money. People who beg for money in an urgent way, like a lot of homeless people begging on the street. Okay, so we are talking about never beg someone to love you. She says never beg someone to love you. Well, that's correct. You never have to beg someone to love you. If someone is not loving you, it means the person really does not want to love you, and there's no need for you to beg the person to love you. But let's say you are already married and your partner decides to leave you for one reason or the other, and you are still in love with the person. Would you still beg the person to stay? In that case, are you begging the person to love you? Please leave your comments below in the comment section. I'd like us to continue this discussion there. Okay, so let's continue with the video now.
Things you should never find yourself begging for. Never beg someone to love you. Never beg someone to stay.
Okay, she says never beg someone to stay. Let's make reference to what I just said, because it is possible for people who have been in a marriage relationship for a long time, it is possible for them to separate based on whatever it is, based on whatever reason. So it's more like some sort of controversial situation right now. So if your partner decides that he or she is tired of the situation, or for one reason or the other, for any reason at all, decides that they want to leave the marriage, would you beg the person to stay? Perhaps to stay for the sake of the children? Would you beg the person to defer leaving that marriage? Or would you beg the person to stay for some time, to give you some time to do some things? For anyhow, would you beg the person to stay for the sake of whatever you had or whatever you have had in that marriage relationship? If you are 70 and your partner all of a sudden decides to leave you, or if you are 60 years and all of a sudden your partner decides to leave, would you beg your partner to stay? In that case, would you consider that also begging for love? Does that mean you are begging for love? Please, I'd like to hear your contributions in the comment section below, all right? You know, I have talked about men leaving marriages after a long time of living together with their wives. I think I have 2 series, check them out. So for whatever reason, perhaps you've been bringing up the children and the person had been enduring all these years, and now the children have come of age in the university, or they are now adults, or they now have their own families, and this man decides to leave to walk out of this marriage, or the woman decides to walk out of the marriage. Would you beg the person to stay?
Never beg someone to be with you.
Would you beg the person to be with you?
Never beg someone to come back. Never beg someone for attention, commitment, affection, time, or effort. You should never have to ask to feel wanted. Begging is demanding and degrading. If someone doesn't willingly give you these things with their arms wide open, they aren't worth it. No one, under any circumstances, is ever worth begging for.
Never beg someone to love you, never beg someone to stay, never beg someone to remain, never beg someone for attention, never beg someone for all these things that she has mentioned. So it's as if I spoke early. So based on all these things that she's saying, never beg someone to do, right? Would you beg your partner based on the meaning of begging? Is begging the same thing as pleading with the person to stay? Is begging the same thing as entreating? Is begging the same thing as beseeching? Is begging the same thing as supplicating in this situation? Like the example I gave earlier on, suppose you have been with your partner for 30 years or 20 years, or suppose you have been with your partner for 45 years. I have seen people who have been with their partners for 60 years, for 70 years. I have had the privilege of being with a couple who have been together for 60 years, as at the time they spoke with me. They are the couple that I had told me that there is nothing like a successful marriage, but they would rather refer to it as a succeeding marriage. Those are the couple I spoke about in one of my live streams and in one of my videos, that they refer to their marriage, to their 60-year-old marriage, as a succeeding marriage because they are still in it and still working together, to make the marriage succeed. So it's a present continuous tense and not something that is like an achieved journey already, like, oh, we are successful. No, that they wouldn't say they are successful, but they would say that they are succeeding. And I saw reason with what both of them were saying and were telling me. All right, so based on that, suppose you meet is a marriage that is 60-year-old or 40-year-old, and all of a sudden the one partner decides that he or she is walking away from such a marriage. Would you beg your partner to stay? Would you beg your partner to not walk away from such a union? Would you supplicate your partner, adjure your partner, beseech your partner to stay? I'd like to hear your comments. I'd like to see your comments in the comment section. Please come talk to me. Let's sort this thing out together, right? This is why I'm reacting to this video, because I have some reservations. I'm not going to influence your comments by telling you what I think and all that, but I'm just asking the question: would you beg your partner to stay in such a situation? But there's another twist to it. Suppose your partner now falls ill and all of a sudden the other partner decides, oh, I'm gonna leave. Would you beg that partner to stay? Or suppose one partner takes ill and is terminally ill. You know what I mean by terminally ill. Perhaps maybe suffering from a terminal disease that did end, part of his or her life. And all of a sudden the other partner now decides, oh, I'm not going to be able to take this anymore, I'm leaving. Would you beg that partner to stay at least for the rest of the short life? I mean, these are extreme cases I'm giving, but I would like us to continue this conversation. All right. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. I do not undermine the views that I receive here. Thank you all so very much. Please come to the comment section and let's continue this conversation. And if you're coming across this channel for the very first time, I would implore you to smash that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to all, so you'll be notified whenever I have a new upload. And I'll see you in my next reaction or review.